Hey, what's up, y'all? This is ASTRODIM here, speaking about the topic of the month. What up? What up? What up? Even though there's no R in up, but whatever, okay? I'm here to talk about... Oh, my God, I have noise in the background. Sorry about that, y'all. Hopefully, y'all guys didn't hear that for the lovely instrumental in the background. Yes. Vibe out. But listen, topic of the month is very late. I apologize. This Mercury retrograde has been nuts. Mercury retrograde affects me a lot. My 5th house is in Gemini, and my Mercury is conjunct my sun. So I really get affected by that energy. Okay. And Pisces energy is really sensitive to me too. So yeah, I have a chunk of Pisces in my 1st house, like most of it, honestly, even though Aquarius rising. So yeah, that just really affects the body for me. So yeah. I apologize. But the topic of the month is Sedna. Yes, y'all, Sedna. Sedna is a dwarf planet. Was once called an asteroid, but it's a dwarf planet. It was first seen astronomically by Michael Brown in 2003. And at first people thought it was an asteroid, but then they saw it, they were like, actually, this is a dwarf planet. Around the same time, I think they found Ceres as well as a couple of other planets. And so it was it was interesting because it was a dwarf planet, but at the same time, because it was revolving around the sun and stuff, they're like, could this be like a planet? Like, could we add it as a planet in our solar system? The conversation ceased. I don't know if they even made an actual decision on that. The conversation just stopped being had, apparently. But Sedna was one of the dwarf planets that was being considered to be the planet in our solar system. So it's really, really interesting. And I'm going to have a question concerning that whole idea. So definitely stay tuned. Listen to the end. Because I would really love to hear your side of things and your opinion, okay? But let's talk about the mythology because, in order for you to understand how to interpret a asteroid, a planet, a dwarf planet, a cosmic body at all, it's very important to get the essence of what it was named after, okay? And get the essence of the story, of the myth, of the legend, so you can have a feel of how to interpret it. That's always how I interpret things. I don't just throw stuff in the air and just be like, it means this. You have to really get into the root of the actual myth and situation. And sometimes there's many versions of it, right? But get to the root of it to really create an interpretation. And when you do create that interpretation, that's you contributing to astrology, which is beautiful. You know what I mean? You guys seen I've done it with many other asteroids and many other dwarf planets and have my own idea of it. So, just know that you can do the same. Okay? So let's talk about Sedna, the myth, right? And then towards the end, I'll definitely talk about, overall lessons and my overall interpretation of Sedna. And then, I might talk about a possible mini reading that I'll do for it if you're interested, okay? Okay, so Sedna is an Inuit goddess, and Inuits are what people used to wrongly call Eskimos. They are the Aboriginals of the northern Arctic parts of the Americas. That's Inuit folks. And Sedna was the goddess of the sea, mistress of the sea, and the goddess of all sea creatures in the underworld. Okay? If you're interested in seeing where Sedna is in your chart, the asteroid number is 90377, which is hilarious because I've been seeing those string of numbers in different forms, in different ways for a while. So I really was supposed to talk about Sedna this month. So yeah, I want to dedicate this actual, podcast / audio article to, all the children who were harmed in any way by their caretakers, their parents, their guardians, okay? Especially the ones who may have lost their lives because of it. You'll understand why later. Sedna had to go through some fuck shit in a similar manner. I just want you guys to realize, the ones that are living and the ones who are deceased on this plane, but souls are around, that you are not forgotten. You will never be forgotten, and you have the ability to have the essence and the power of Sedna as well. Okay? All right. So yeah, like I was saying, Sedna was the mother of the sea, a straight up sea goddess, right? But she was a human at first, or kind of human-esque. There's different versions of the Sedna story, and some say that she was the daughter of a giant god named Inkuta, and Inkuta was the creator god. And he created everything, right? Which was make her the mother, have the creator type energy too. That's why she was the mother of the sea. And a lot of the interpretations of her story, she created a lot of the sea animals. It's in her blood to do so, right? But some versions of the story would say that her father was a really skilled hunter, very got his stuff together, you know what I mean, had money, was very successful, and so they lived very well, her and her family. There's many versions in which her mom and dad was around. There's many versions where her mom passed away. It's just her and her father, which is the version that I'm aware of the most, you know what I mean? But a lot of the times she really desired her home, and desired her life at home so much that she didn't want to marry. You know what I mean? And she was known as being very, very beautiful, very gorgeous. So that's actually a very important part of the story too. But I'm gonna, definitely, after I say a couple of things, or one last thing, I'm going to tell you my version that I'm more aware of Sedna, and then I'm going to talk about the multiple versions and how they differ, but there's a common theme that we're going to talk about towards the end, okay? But before I go say that, Sedna is actually known across that whole Arctic region of the Americas, and even some of the indigenous people along the coast of America, in the deeper parts of it, right? So, but they call her different names. So sometimes some of them call him Sedna, some of them call her Noriyayok. Noriyayok. And others call her Nuliayak. I'm butchering the fuck out of this, huh? Sorry. Nuliayak. And there's many different names too that were very long, beautiful names. But she's not just known as Sedna. So if you hear similar names, a similar story with a different name, it's most likely Sedna. You know what I mean? But anyways, I want to talk about my version first that I'm more aware of, and honestly, I intuitively feel that is the correct version on a deeper soul level. But I will also talk about the other versions too. Okay, so Sedna was had her parents lived with her parents. She was young. She was beautiful. Now it makes the most sense that her parent was a god, right? Because again, she had the power to create other beings. But I feel like if we can all tap into that, it's kind of like the Christ consciousness vibe. I feel like we can all tap into being creators as well. We are all as good as Jesus if we strive to do it. It's kind of like the Christ consciousness thing. So I feel like, she doesn't necessarily have to be one, but the story that I've heard, she was, her father was a skilled, very wealthy hunter, but it will make sense that, she's a daughter of a God, the creator God, right? But anyways, she was, regardless, in a well set up home type of situation, right? She had both of, the version I know, her mother passed away. She didn't have her mother. But some versions she had both parents. But I'm gonna, again, stick to my version, all right? So it was her and her dad, right? She lost her mom. I think she lost her mom. Her mom was giving birth to her, and that's how she lost her mom. But it was her and her dad. And her dad had to have that trauma bond, was very, very close. She was happy with her dad and what her dad provided for her. Her dad spoiled her a lot. She was known for being very beautiful, very, like, just dipped. You know what I mean? Her clothes were fire. She was beautiful. She got everything that she wanted. She had the best foods, the best everything, because her father provided for her. And she was really, really close to her dad. She adored her father. All right. And, she was so, so beautiful that she had many, many, many men coming around, trying to holler, trying to marry her. And of course, in back in those days, the tradition was, okay, the father will seek these people out, see if they fit. He feels like they're best for her, and he'll agree with it. She'll get to see if she, likes the dude, and it goes on from there. And so they will go to her father, go to her, be like, you're beautiful. I would love to, move things further along with us. And, her father would be down for it, going along tradition. But Sedna would turn every single man down. There was always a reason for her. She was very picky. There was always a reason why they weren't good enough. Okay? Very, very picky. But a big thing about this too is that she had that trauma bond with her dad, with her losing her mom. She had a closeness to her dad. And she didn't want to leave her dad. She didn't want to leave how she was living. She was comfortable with her situation. And, she just didn't want to go and do that, right? And so her father was really, really, like, getting annoyed. Like, listen, you have all these eligible bachelors trying to holler at you. You're beautiful. Won't you just go ahead and marry? Fall tradition. She's like, I don't want to. And her father gets really, really angry. And in some twisted, weird way, her father was like, you know what? All these years you're not hollering at these people. Fine, and go marry a dog. And forced her to marry a dog. Yes, I know, strange, but that's what her father did. And she's like, are you serious? Like, you're really going to make me do that? And some legends too, apparently, she actually was like, all right, I guess I got to marry a dog. And she ended up giving birth to half human, half dog species. Okay. And her father was like so appalled, so disgusted. Mind you, he's the one that forced her to do this. It's so strange. Listen, weird as shit, but so strange. And you're going to see this weird theme with her father in his parenting child. But anyway, he's the one that forced her. He was trying to punish her and try to shame her into marrying somebody and force her to marry the dog. But then, like, she ended up giving birth to, like, dog babies. It was really strange. And he got mad, even though he forced the whole situation. So he was so ashamed, pissed off, and annoyed that he actually threw her out. Kicked her out the house. Straight up. Now, this is a girl who had everything that she wanted and more. Talk about freaking 9 of cups, 10 of cups vibes, okay? Was very happy at home, was very catered to. And she ended up being kicked out, being homeless, being poor, feeling abandoned, you know what I mean? Being by herself, and just was like alone. And so she started to think like, damn, like maybe I should have listened to my father. Maybe I should have married one of these fools. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to have that, but maybe I should have just went for it, And so she's like wandering around. She can't go back home. And she just lives on the streets for a while. Then she goes meets this man, right? And this man, he is like dipped out too, nicest clothes, handsome, got his shit together, seems like a little Renaissance man, right? Intelligent. He notices Sedna. I was like, Sedna, goddamn, girl, you looking good. Won't you back that ass up? He's a fine motherfucker. Won't you back that ass up? Call me Big Daddy. Okay, stop. All right, but seriously, he was like, wow, you're beautiful. I would love for you to be my wife. Can we have some holleration in this dancery? You know what I mean? Like, can I holler? Can we figure this out? And, Sedna was like, well, I ain't feeling nothing for him. I ain't feeling no chemistry, no romance, but he's handsome and he looks rich. He says he's rich. And, hey, maybe I could just have some comfort. Since my dad won't give me the life that I had before, maybe I could just marry this dude, have a similar life, be straight, and I'll be all right. So he smooth talked away into marrying Sedna. Then she comes, she comes to his house and whatever, and he's actually a bum. Okay? He's actually a bum. I don't know how, but he got his hands into some nice clothes, took a bath that day, I guess. Took a bath that week and convinced Sedna, and she's like, goes to his house and he's like a straight up bum. I know in some versions he's actually like a man, a bird man or a crow man, or like he's a man / bird basically. And so a lot of versions, like he took her back to his island or his nest or his something, and she realized, well, wow, I got fucking played. This dude lied to me. He ain't rich. He ain't settled. He ain't good. You know what I mean? Like, the fuck? And so she got played, and it was really disappointing to her. And she's like, man, like, this motherfucker lied to me. Like, what the hell? And so she's just like really sad, really disappointed. And so, she ends up running away. The thing is too, is like, while she was there, first she was trying to be like, okay, let me just tough this shit out, right? But he was being really mean to her, damn near abusive, just like really like tough and ridiculous and disgusting. And she's just like, she just so wasn't used to that life. Like, she's like, man, I'd rather be fucking homeless again than, like, goddamn, right? And so, she found a way to run away. She runs away, and strange enough, bumps into her dad, right? And I don't like, there's some versions that she went back to her dad's house. There's some versions that her dad went to rescue her. I mean, if her dad's a god, it would make sense that he would rescue her because he would hear her. But, one way or another, she goes and, like, runs into her dad. I heard another version too, actually, that says that people were talking about it and word got to her dad, and her dad came to try to rescue her, right? So regardless, right, her dad is like, shit, I don't want you living like this. Like, come on, I got you, right? And so, he goes into a kayak and was like, listen, we're going to run out. We're going to go back home. Like, fuck this shit. You ain't going to live like this. F all that, right? And so they come trying to swim away in the kayak, right? The bird man or the man or whatever, the smooth talker that's actually a bum ass nigga, right? That he comes through and he's like, nah, I'm going to get her back. And so he's like being forceful. He's being ridiculous. They're like, fighting through the kayaks. Depending on the different version that you see, he has other people with him, and it's becoming like this big thing. And he's like, her husband is being relentless and not letting go. And the father was like, well, shit, I'm not dealing with this shit no more, right? Throws Sedna off the boat. Mind you, he was there to rescue her in the first place. Throws her off the boat and was like, listen, just take her. God damn, like, I'd rather not deal with this. His own daughter. Okay, his own daughter. She's like, no, Dad. Again, Sedna is a daddy's girl no matter what he did to her. Daddy's girl, love her dad. Like, Dad, no. She's grabbing on to the boat. right? Was like, please don't do this to me. He takes a knife, cuts off her fingers, so she won't grab onto the boat no more. And she falls down to the sea to drown. However, because of her energy and her power, she ends up transforming into a sea goddess. But also the fingers that she has turns into a lot of sea animals, specifically sea mammals, such as whales, walruses, sea lions, otters, all the sea mammals, you know what I mean? And many different versions of sea animals. And, through that, she turns into the sea goddess, right? And the thing is, though, within her be turning into the sea goddess, I'm seeing this. It's funny. I'm seeing I'm seeing the number. 333, and I'm also seeing the number 355, which is interesting. So the Ascended Masters are with me. She might be an Ascended Master. I wouldn't be surprised. So hey, Sedna, baby, love you, girl. So this is actually interesting because I don't know, like there's a lot of interesting correlations and synchronicities, and I think there is a reason why I'm saying this story at this specific time to you guys. Okay, and I'll talk about that later on in towards the end of this episode. But anyways, she turns into the sea goddess magically, which I do feel like shows that it could be, her having this connection to being a god, but also shows the power that you can have from within to transform to what you want to be, or maybe how traumatic situations can cause you to be like a phoenix. Like, yes, you die and you turn into ashes, but the ashes turn into like a phoenix and you're all set. You know what I mean? You turn into this new being. So it kind of gives me that type of vibe, right? But anyways, she turns into a sea goddess. All her fingers turned into different sea animals, right? She's literally like a mermaid now. However, Sedna is a very touchy, vengeful, heartbroken still entity. And, Sedna will definitely help and provide and support. But she did not get properly nurtured and supported. You know what I mean? There's this saying that's deep within astrology, but in other like ancient wisdom and teachings too, that says that basically, the feminine parent is the one that nurtures you emotionally, that supports you emotionally, that gets you closer to God, that makes you understand your inner intuition, right? Feminine energy is very internal. Feminine energy is all about, getting what you want subtly, right? So of course, the nurturing parent, the quote unquote mother, but just whatever, it doesn't have to be, or the feminine parent doesn't have to be feminine, but the nurturing parent provides that, as the father is the one that teaches you, kind of pushes you to have your own personality, your persona, your appearance, teaches you how to express yourself, teaches you how to be external in your self-expression, get what you want by being direct. You know what I mean? Asserting yourself in certain ways. They help you build your personality and your persona pretty much, right? To be, and not to be like them, but to understand your own personality, persona, and to do what you have to do externally to get what you want, right? And you have to think about it. Like, she didn't have her mother, at least from the version of the story that I know. And so, she didn't have the ability. She's coming from a standpoint where she has this like masculine energy pushing her to do things externally. But yet, she didn't get nurtured. She didn't get the love and support that she needed on the feminine side. And so, she has a lot of pain. She has a lot of sadness from, being backstabbed in many different ways by her parent. And so she's very touchy. Sometimes Sedna is like dealing with Sedna is walking on eggshells. She's hurt, but she still is loving. She loves the sea animals that she created. She loves, the sea. She loves, obviously, animals. You know what I mean? Even the land animals. She's very supportive. She loves people, but she's been hurt. So she's very, very touchy. There's this thing with Sedna that says that, Sedna really shakes up the ocean and gets pissed off and like really cause storms within the ocean when her hair's tangled, and she just wants someone to brush her hair. She just wants someone to like take care of her and nurture her. She never had it. I don't know why I'm being emotional. This shit's sad. This shit's mad sad like that. I don't know. My heart just felt something. It's really sad, man. Like, she just wanted to be nurtured and she couldn't even get that. And so there's many different things that a lot of people within the Inuit and within, that area, the Northwest, a lot of things that they do to support Sedna and try to give her love to. And, of course, they're doing it because they're like, well, I don't want Sedna to cause this storm in the tribe. I'm not trying to have her wild out. This bitch is crazy. You know what I mean? Like, of course, they're on that vibe. But the thing is, though, is that they actually care about Sedna, too, because Sedna does provide. But Sedna has this vibe of like, listen, I'm going to get with what I want, because relying on people didn't work for me that well. I got highly disappointed in many different ways. So if I have to wild the fuck out to get what I want from you people, I will do it. So it's very deep. So before I get into the deeper interpretation of this, I do want to talk about the many different versions that I heard of Sedna. The version I just told you is the main one that I've heard, the main one that I'm connected to, the main one that I intuitively am like bonded with. And the thing is that like Sedna is not really at a deep like part of my chart in which I'm like extremely intuitive. With like, when it comes to asteroids, I feel like different aspects to asteroids are important, but if an asteroid is conjunct one of your personal planets, I think that's when you can really get in tune with the energy. So that's why I was able to really get in tune with Lilith energy and tell y'all my version of the myth. This is why I can really get connected with the Persephone version, the Persephone energy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm able to really speak on it because of the connection that I have. But, I do have a little something with Sedna. Like, Sedna's opposite my Pluto. You know what I mean? That's a little something, right? Sedna is kind of square. I say kind of because it's at a 4-degree orb. And when it comes to asteroids, I only use 3-degree orbs. But Sedna's kind of square my, ascendant and descendant. You know what I mean? Kind of. Sedna is kind of square my Vesta. Sedna's trine my asteroid Lilith. Right? There goes that masculine energy fucking up again, right? And that says a lot, actually, when I think about it. Oh, actually, no, Sedna doesn't trine my asteroid Lilith. I lied. Sedna trines my vertex. And Sedna trines my karma. That's really interesting. Sedna also definitely trines my Neptune. So it's interesting I was connected to my outer planets. But anyway, and Sedna also trines my Pallas Athena. And man, when I think about it, it really makes sense. But anyways, the closest one is Sedna trining my Neptune, Sedna opposite my Pluto. So I have a connection to it, especially with me having so much collective sign energy and collective house energy. 10th, 11th, 12th, and Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. I have a lot of that energy. So, it makes sense that I'm connected to that. To Sedna a bit. But anyways, I want you guys again to plug in 377 to see where Sedna is in your chart. And I'm going to later on describe how Sedna can play out in your life. I'm not going to go through the signs. No. You can get a mini reading from me if you're interested in that. But see where Sedna is. Is it conjunct something special in your chart? I'll be interested in seeing that and hearing about it, okay? But let me talk about the different versions of Sedna. Let me do that, all right? So, in one version of Sedna, her father decides not to feed Sedna. She gets mad. All right, guys. So, one other thing I do like to add in this situation too is that Sedna has, is very slow moving. Okay, Sedna is extremely slow moving, and Sedna has been in Taurus for the longest time. So most likely your Sedna is in Taurus. So you got to see, house-wise where Sedna falls, because, if you use Placidus, again, I like to say this, whole sign kind of shows you the external world is laid out. Equal sign shows you how you perceive things as a human, in your human form, very first layer type of thinking. And then Placidus is your psyche, your inner self, how you are karmically connected into this life. It gets a little bit deeper. That's why I like to use Placidus. And it also shows the external world as well, and blah, blah, blah. So, and shows self as well. So, you can use any chart type that you're interested in, that you like. All of them are very valid. All of them are very, very important. But see where Sedna is on your chart. All right. See where it falls. It's going to be in the Taurus side of things. But hey, maybe in your Placidus, Taurus is in your first and your second. Maybe in Placidus, Taurus is in your seventh and your eighth. See where it is, and then we can kind of do the interpretations. Another interesting thing too is that I'm leaning more for Sedna to be representative of Taurus, but maybe it's because right now Sedna is in Taurus. You feel what I'm saying? And so that's why I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on Sedna. I'm still sticking to that whole Sedna possibly being in Taurus, or Sedna being in and not Sedna being in Taurus, Sedna representing the Taurus archetype, or even Sedna, connected possibly even to the Scorpio archetype. Still connected to that for sure. But, I would love to hear what you guys have to say. I feel like what you guys have to say is very important too. Yeah, I do. All right. So let's have this conversation. It'll be lovely. I think Sedna has been in Taurus since possibly the 60s, y'all. Yeah, that's a long time. Yeah, it looks like it's been around it's been in Taurus since the mid to late 60s. So yeah, it's been there for a while. It's still there. It's at the late degrees of Taurus. I wonder how people that had Sedna and Aries, how they feel about Sedna. But the thing is that the myth is the myth is the myth. You know what I'm saying? And you think about it too, Sedna was discovered while Sedna was in Taurus. So I'm just saying, I feel like it's saying that, hey, we finally see it. It's the closest to the sun. It is visible in Taurus. It's visible to us in Taurus because that's where it's supposed to live. You get what I'm saying? Just something to think about. Who knows? But anyways, I just want to add that part there. If you are interested in hearing the rest of what I have to say, I talk about the multiple versions of Sedna, how they all connect, the astrological connections, and how it may play out in people's charts if Sedna's in prominent parts in people's charts. I talk about, my interpretation of Sedna. I say a lot. All right. And so if you're interested in hearing that whole thing, it's about an hour-long episode. or hour-long audio article, go to astrodim.space and / Cosmic Life blog, or just go to like astrodim.space and go to the Cosmic Life blog. It's going to be in one of the main, menus, right? And then check out the latest blog and it'll be there. Okay, so thank you for listening, and I hope you have a lovely, lovely, lovely day. All right, peace out. Bye.